Welcome to the Shipyard Maine Coast Marathon from Biddeford, Maine. The race starts right in front of Kennebunk High School on Route 35 or Fletcher Street. The Shipyard Maine Coast Marathon will start in front of Kennebunk High School and head south on Route 35. This first section of the course will pass through Kennebunk Center before heading west on Route 9. Now, the Shipyard Maine Coast Marathon features incredible views of the Maine coastline. It also travels through the villages of Kennebunk and Kennebunkport. Coming up at this set of lights, we could take a left on Route 1 and then a quick right on Route 9. Now, as we cross through the mile 1 mark, take a quick look at your watch and make sure you're not running too fast. It's very easy in a marathon with a flat start to really get amped up and run much faster than you should. Stay within your plan and make sure that your pace is back on track if you're a little bit too fast. Now, if the marathon distance is just a bit too far for you this year, this weekend of racing also features the Shipyard Maine Coast Half Marathon, which is held the day before on Saturday. And in addition to that, this weekend of racing also features the Shipyard Maine Coast 39.3 Challenge. And yes, you guessed it, it is running the half marathon on Saturday and the full marathon on Sunday. And believe it or not, in 2015, they had 115 people finish this challenge. So quite a weekend of racing. Now, as we continue on the Shipyard Maine Coast Marathon, we cross through mile 4 and our second water stop. Again, very important in a marathon to continuously take on fluids at the beginning of the race, even if you do not feel thirsty. Now, stay to the right side of the road, so we take a right on Western Ave or Route 9. Again, this part of the course is still flat, just slightly rolling. Now, as we approach mile 5, runners will at this point move to the left-hand side of the road and run against traffic. Again, there'll be volunteers and police guiding runners to the left-hand side of the road. As we come up over this small rise at the lights, we're going to take a left onto C Road. Now, as soon as we take this left, we're going to be heading towards the ocean and also have a slight downhill as we cross through mile 6. The next section of this course will follow the Maine coastline from Kennebunk Beach to Walker's Point before returning inland to Route 9. Now, as we continue down C Road, heading towards the ocean, small rise here. You can see in the distance the sky is going to start to open up, and you're going to see beautiful views of the ocean as we come around this corner. Just absolutely gorgeous views on the right-hand side of the beach and the ocean as we cross through another water stop. The road's going to flatten out nicely through this section. Now, as we cross through mile 7, you're going to be very distracted with the gorgeous views of the Maine coastline. But again, it's very important to stay within yourself and not get too quick through this section as we pass by Oaks Neck on the right-hand side. Now, this area is very popular with both runners and cyclists. In addition, you'll see a lot of surfers out on the right-hand side. This particular day was very rough, so the ocean was just loaded with surfers. Now, coming up, runners will move to the right side of the road with the assistance of police and volunteers, and for the remainder of the race, runners will run on the right side with traffic. Now, as we cross through mile 8, the road's going to kick up just a bit as we continue on Beach Avenue. Now, stay to the right side of the road as we'll be taking a right onto Western Avenue. As soon as you take this right, you're going to go through a water stop, and then you're going to go through Kennebunk Center. Now, this is a very popular area with tourists, both restaurants and shops on both sides of the road. So we'll go right through the center of town. Then we're going to take a right onto Ocean Avenue. Again, nice and flat through this section as we cross through mile 9. Now, the charity partner for this event is the Southern Maine Healthcare's Center for Breast Care. This center is on the front line in the battle against breast cancer. So not only can you come out and enjoy a great event, but you can also support a great cause. Beautiful homes on the left and right. As we cross through mile 10. Now, this is a really spectacular part of the course as we go through another water stop. Off to the right is the ocean and Cape Arundel. Just great cliffs and views of the ocean on the right-hand side. We're just absolutely gorgeous homes on the left. We're just going to wind our way around this section of the course. Always see a lot of runners and walkers through this section, enjoying the views. Off in the distance on the right, you can see the Bush residence. George Bush's summer home has been here for many years as we cross through mile 11. Now as we start to move inland on Shore Road, some of the distractions of the ocean and the beautiful sights of the Maine coastline are going to be behind us. And the road's going to start to kick up just a bit more with some more rolling hills. Really got to keep your concentration up through this section of the course as you cross through mile 12. Again, none of these hills are overly large, but they will become more frequent, just small little rising hills. As we take a left on Wills District Road and another water stop. Again, continue to take on water. You cross through mile 13 and pass through the halfway mark of this event. Just going to veer to the right. Now stay to the right side of the road as we'll be taking a right onto School Street. The next section of this course follows Route 9 as we begin to head north towards our finish at the University of New England. Now as we head out on Route 9, this next section of the course is probably the most crucial of the entire race as we go through the 14-mile mark and another water stop. Your legs are going to start to get tired and the hills are going to get just a little bit tougher on this part of the course. You're going to have to really dig deep and really maintain your concentration. The middle miles in any marathon are always the most difficult, especially when the hills start to be a little bit more intense. At this point in the course, you're going to take a very hard left to stay on Route 9 and another water stop. Again, very important to take on water. The Shipyard Maine Coast Marathon is a point-to-point course. Again, back when we started at Kennebunk High School, we're going to end up finishing at the University of New England. Very wooded through this section of the course. Cross through mile 17. Again, just a beautiful area to run in. As you pass by another water stop. Again, plenty of water stops on this course. Please take advantage of each and every one. The next section of this course will head east towards Goose Rocks Beach and the coastline before returning to Route 9 for a couple of miles as we continue to head towards the finish at the University of New England. Now as we cross through mile 18, stay to the right side of the road as we'll be finally leaving Route 9 and taking a right onto Dyke Road. Now at this point we're heading back towards the ocean. Road's also going to flatten out a bit as we cross through mile 19. Now we'll take a left on Kings Highway. Now the ocean is off to the right-hand side. Pass by the beautiful beach homes on both the left and right. Now right about here we're going to have another water stop and you can see glimpses of the ocean off to the right-hand side. Just a beautiful neighborhood to run through. Nice and flat through this section as we continue straight at the stop sign. Now right about here, we're just going to turn around and head back the way we came. Just a short out and back section as we cross through mile 20. And take a right on New Biddeford Road. Now at this point in the course, we're now heading back inland. We're going to have some rolling hills through this section of the course. Now at this point, we're heading back towards Route 9. We're just going to have a short section on Route 9 and then head back towards the ocean. Now stay to the right as we take a right back onto Route 9 and another water stop. Really got to maintain your concentration through this section of the course. Big sweeping hills through here. Again, not overly large hills, but they are going to be very tough at this point in the course. Got to get through these couple of miles on Route 9. Now take a right on Fortune's Rocks Road. Now in the distance, you're going to be able to start seeing the ocean as you cross through mile 23. Now the final section of this course follows Fortune Rocks Beach before heading inland past Biddeford Pool and onto Old Pool Road and the finish at the University of New England. Beautiful views off to the right-hand side as we round this corner. Pause the video slightly. Look at that view. Just an incredible view of the ocean. Hopefully that'll recharge your batteries for these final few miles. Now, if you still have your legs at all at this point in the race, it is flat through this section. No hills to hold you back through this part of the course. Just absolutely incredible views on the right-hand side as you cross to mile 24. Just going to keep your legs moving through this section. Nice flat straight road. Now we're going to take a left onto Bridge Road. Biddeford Pool's on the right hand side. Now as soon as you take this left, the road's going to start to kick up just a bit. Some rolling hills through this section. Now stay to the right side of the road as we'll be taking a right onto Old Pool Road. Now as soon as you take this right, we're going to go by the final water stop and cross through mile 25. Now the finish line is actually on Old Pool Road. Now this is a rolling road, so it will be a little tough to close this race out. Hopefully you have something left to get up and over these small little punchy hills as we start to head towards the finish. And as you come around this corner, you're going to cross through mile 26 and race to the finish. Thank you for viewing the Shipyard Maine Coast Marathon.